Hey there, welcome back. Today we're going to show you how to air check a 46, 47, 48 RE Chrysler transmission. So A518, A618, or 48 RE, gas or diesel, does not matter as long as it's within that transmission family. What I'm going to show you here will apply. So very simple. I'm using about 100 psi of air, and I have all of our circuits that we're going to test labeled. So this is suction and pressure. We're not actually going to air check that. I mean, there's nothing really to air check. Then you have your direct clutch, your forward clutch. This is to and from the torque converter, and this is cooler supply. Again, we're not going to air check these three ports. Okay, over here you have your intermediate band servo apply, your low reverse band apply, and then in here you have your overdrive apply, and you're going to need a little length of vacuum hose, something like 6 inches is sufficient to get up in there. Alright, so like I said, 100 psi air is all you need. Minimum 75, otherwise the apply may not be as robust, or you might hear excessive amounts of leaking or whatever, and the results may or may not be trustworthy. So, alright, we'll start with forward, and then we'll work our way all around the case counterclockwise. Okay, so that sounds good. What you heard was, or I should say saw and heard, was the drum travel, okay, or the front end play. These transmissions require, I want to say, between 30 and 80 thousandths worth of end play. The reason why it's large like this is due to the lube circuitry inside the main case through to the overdrive section. If you run it too tight, then you may have issues with adequate lubrication getting to all your gear parts and everything else. Alright, now we'll do direct. Okay, what you're listening for is robust apply. And what I'm doing here is I'm charging the circuit, then letting off the trigger, and then allowing maybe a half a second or a second to pass before I release the nozzle, so I can see if air is staying trapped in the circuit, because that's what you want when it's like this on the bench. Alright, all of the overhaul kits come with the updated direct drum seal. Okay, that seal's a little bit wider. The lips are a little bit longer per se than the original factory seals, which tended to allow too much blow-by and cause premature failure of this clutch. So we have forward and we have direct. Now we'll work the intermediate circuit. Okay, I gotta kind of hold the nozzle because, well, it's wearing out, I guess. Okay, same thing. You want air to stay trapped in that circuit even when you let off your trigger. Low reverse. Okay, this does not require a ton of air pressure. Alright, what you see here on the intermediate servo cover, where I have the word ring end written out like that, and a little hash mark or indexing mark, is the location where the butt cut sealing ring on the cover has the two ends meeting. What Sonics has you do is install your snap rings such that the ends of the snap ring for the cover itself are 180 degrees out from the ends of the sealing ring. So that's why that's there. Okay, let me go ahead and put my hose on so we can do overdrive. So that's what I'm using. You gotta kind of shove it down in there. And you're not going to get a traditional kind of apply. What you're actually looking for is movement up here in the sun shell, because that tells you that the piston is applying force to that top steel, and so that will enable you to determine if you have good sealing integrity. And you can tell that there is an immense amount of air staying trapped in that circuit. So I'll charge it again, and I'm not even squeezing the trigger all the way. Okay, I'm just doing it part way. Okay, the sealing isn't perfect, that's why you're hearing all the air rush in. But that is good sealing integrity, and that's what you want to hear. So that is how you air check one of these transmissions prior to installing your control body assembly. You always want to make sure that your hydraulic circuits will work before you bolt on the mechanical brain of the transmission, or electromechanical brain in the case of these more modern units. This is a great way to diagnose potential cross leaks as well, between forward and direct, or issues with your band, whether it be the intermediate or the low reverse, if you're having drivability symptoms. All right. The other thing that I'll mention is, and you've obviously seen it now, is the ATS billet hardware for the intermediate band. This is a 4.2 ratio lever. Factory-wise, the 46s and 47 REs come with 3.8 to 1 band lever ratio in terms of apply leverage. So I like to upgrade to these whenever we're doing something heavy duty towing and hauling. Now the 48 REs are 5 to 1, so you know, it's up to you if you want to do anything fancy there beyond just replacing the stock cast parts with the billet equivalents from ATS or whomever. Alright, that'll do it for this video. If you want to know about part selection and, like, you know, rebuild considerations for everything from a stock to heavy duty towing and hauling application, check out my build strategy video on these transmissions, and I spend literally almost an hour talking you through in, you know, fairly deep level of detail what you want to be thinking about and how you want to approach a rebuild of one of these units for anything from a stock to like a heavy duty towing hauling application. I touch a little bit on racing and extreme duty, but I don't get too far into it because the parts that I have on the bench and the application didn't really justify it. The only other thing we're doing real fancy with this beyond the transmission itself is a billet triple disc torque converter. All right, anytime you're going to be engaged in a lot of heavy towing hauling, I do recommend you run at least a single disc. All right, you want to go triple disc. I mean, that's like, you know, it just gives it that much more of a bulletproof factor. But a single disc with a billet cover is good for most stock to moderate towing hauling applications. But if you're going to be doing some serious work, then yes, step to the triple disc, and that will at least give you the assurance that you won't have problems with the torque converter clutch, assuming everything else equal. We're also going to be bolting essential valve bodies, upgraded heavy-duty valve body assembly to this transmission as well. All right, thank you for watching. Hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them below. If there's anything else you want me to dig into when it comes to these transmissions, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I'll prioritize a video as soon as I can for you. Thanks again.